I'm a Gorker. I don't have time to wait for quest mobs. Give me the layers. Mr. Gorker, you have all the time in the world. Go stand at the mob and tab out and do some work. It respawns in 5 minutes, brother. You're Gorkin. Doesn't matter.
Survey. I woke up this morning, I saw everybody talking about Classic Plus survey.
Oh.
This is a lot more than that. Like, what the heck?
Okay. What is this video? I'm ready for some content.
Hey guys, I'm Jordy, and
Hello.
Our little project created an absolute insane amount of buzz in the community.
This is really well made.
Super sick.
Ooh, uncovering Dalaran. Project Classic Plus, baby.
And as of this video's
Who said that?
we have 35,000 introduction surveys taken, with over 200,000 total surveys covering every aspect of the game completed. The
Okay.
surveys are still up, and that number is steadily increasing, but I do want to get into what we are seeing, what the community thinks,
I think we all disagree here.
Same.
and what exactly Classic Plus is to us all. And while
Wait, what is
I can't
this?
tell you Blizzard has officially noticed and said that they're watching,
Really excited to announce that. I guess we'll save that for later.
just based off of my experience communicating with them, I know that they're paying attention.
They are completely different for the most part than modern players. You know, can we as World of Warcraft do a bit of experimentation? Because we hear what they want. What do they really want? And in some cases, they created it themselves, like hardcore. That's what we're aiming for. We're in a very exploratory space with Classic, and we are listening.
Now, the next video in this series will be showcasing all the incredible pitches and ideas that the community has created, as well as an absolutely exhaustive amount of ideas that only and I have. But this little video is just the numbers.
Have people been using that site?
Oh, man, are they interesting. Now, I want to preface everything I'm about to talk about with this. I'm not saying nor recommending Blizzard make Classic Plus by committee here. While I do think a polling system is a great and much needed feature for future releases, doing it this way, with all the surveys being as long and exhaustive as they are, it's just not a great way to decide on everything. But I do think it's very important to see how the community feels about a certain direction and hopefully course correct on anything that they might already be doing to avoid running the Titanic into an iceberg.
Why are they turning? Is it hard over? It is, yes, the hard over. Got ahead.
Now,
What?
speaking of icebergs, let's talk the
What
most
the fuck?
surefire ways to screw up Classic Plus. According to the community, out of over 35,000 individuals who answered, almost unanimously, everybody agrees that flying mounts would ruin Classic Plus. Good stuff, guys. I agree with you. Now, everybody also agrees that the leveling pace of the original game is just right, with the majority agreeing to keep it the
Two
way.
freaks.
Only 1.4% of respondents said that they'd rather skip leveling and buy a boost. So, Blizzard,
Damn.
if you're listening, no boosts please, no leveling increase, just keep it the way it was. Mad Season, this one's for you.
Just a little bit bigger. A little bit faster.
Now, moving on to something I honestly found surprising, a majority of players believe that transmog is bad, with 51.6% of players
Good.
saying that it should
Good. This is good.
the game. I'm honestly surprised by this as well. I hear a lot of different opinions about transmog, so this one was a pleasant surprise. Now that we've seen what exactly Classic Plus shouldn't change, let's talk about what the community thinks should change. While it's a bit mixed in how it should work, over 70% of respondents agree that raid size should reduce from 40 somehow, with about half of those wanting
They don't know what they want.
of raids being
You think you do, but you don't.
but allowing you to bring more. Or a retail WoW-like version of flex raiding,
Whatever.
where the challenge changes as you gain or lose raid members. Next up, Dungeon Finder. 67% of people want Dungeon Finder, but only in that it helps to group you, not teleport you to the dungeon. Now, what confuses me here though is that 74% of people want summoning stones as well. So I guess you're all okay with making 2 people travel there to summon the other 3, which de facto is the same as Dungeon Finder, kind of. This was a weird result. I think some of you are passenger princesses and are okay with it. Now, most of you like the idea of heroic dungeons, or at least some version of it, depending on how it's implemented. Also, a majority want AoE looting. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of AoE looting, but it's not a huge deal. Fine.
Why?
Now,
Why do they want AoE looting? Who's AoE?
Over 70% of respondents think Retribution Paladin needs major revamping,
What class do you think I consider my main chat the best class? A Paladin.
while Balanced Druid and Protection Paladin come up just behind. Ret just needs a little encouragement to really break free of its vanilla shackles. The biggest one on this list, in my opinion, 55% of respondents would prefer if GDKP was not in Classic Plus. If you look at the demographic data of people who answered that they were hardcore raiders, that number drops to 49.5%, but separately, for people that only labeled themselves as hardcore raiders and nothing else, that number swaps to 47.1% wanting GDKP, with 41% saying they prefer not to have it. I'm not going to editorialize this, but it's fascinating. The last highlight here, and this one is a slam dunk, is that 95% of people who
are afraid
answered, so something like
of GDKP.
2,000 or so people, want to see dual spec implemented. I think this is a safe addition for Classic Plus, and the community seems to agree. That's
Statistically proven.
The changes, and now the most debated topics that we can't get true clarity on. First up, how this server rollout should occur. Now, this one was all over the place, with no option getting more than 30% of the vote. 27% want 1 mega PvP server and 1 mega PvE server. 24% want a condensed server list like in SOD, with further consolidation over time, and then down from there in terms of options. It's super interesting seeing how split everybody is on this. On the question of Classic Plus having new classes, 43% do not want to see
Don't add any more,
new
please.
classes, with 34% and 12% wanting to see new classes in some way, whether that
Maybe just
be
monk.
classes or stuff that we've seen in retail already. Now added up, that's 46% for new classes and 43% against. The community is pretty split on this one. And in terms of the server resetting every couple years, and I admit this question could have been written a bit better, the community is also pretty split. Some of you are down for fresh every so often, some never want to see it, and most are just not sure, wanting to hold judgment depending on how it's done. So this is just
Wait, chat. What if they gave like Horde DKs, which would be a counterpart, not the same, but a counterpart to Paladin, and then give Monk to Alliance, being a counterpart, but not the same, to Shaman. Anyways, just farming bad takes here.
our initial findings. We've been building this data browser for everybody to use, which right now you too can go check out. Do you want to see what the auction house gamers think about connecting all the auction houses? Boom. Go check out the data for yourself right now. While all of that is great, what about the content? Well, that too has been insanely positive, with an absolute truckload of ideas being submitted and tens of thousands of upvotes and downvotes on all of these ideas over the course of the last 2 weeks. So while you're on the site, go upvote what you think are the best ideas. And like I said earlier, the next video will be much larger and expect that soon. But while you chew on the data, we wanted to leave you with one more thing.
What is that?
What?
What are we being left with?
What is it?
Dude, it's so bright.
Good day to you. You're getting on my nerves. I supply only the finest goods.
What is this? What was that? What was that? Was that just like what they want? Was that just a teaser? Okay, I mean, I could mess with that. I could mess with that. You know what? That's decent. What is this? Bro, what the hell?
There's something you need to let me know?
We're good. Guys, we're good. How would you feel if Classic Plus had an element of seasonal servers? Layers are fine. I'm gonna be honest. This survey solidifies the fact in my head that you can't design the game from a community's wants and desires. Okay? This is the reason, is because they want summon stones, they want dungeon finder, they want modern, look at this. They want modern spell effects. 16% of people want modern spell effects. They want modern character animations. They want modern character models. They want Unreal, like, I think all of the stuff that they're voting for, layers are fine, modern stuff, smaller raids, dungeon finder, summoning stones, heroic dungeons, rated PvP, rated PvE, all this stuff is AoE looting. All this stuff is in retail. It's just retail. It's literally just retail. All of these things, all of these votes are retail changes. And I think like someone who likes retail and plays classic and takes these votes is like, yeah, that's great. Let's make it more like retail. I think it's such a trap. I think these things are such a trap to design around. I can't. Okay, this is a good thing. Okay, I can't. People complaining about layers are dumb. If you had no layers, you could not do anything. No questing, no gathering, no dungeon, only dungeon spam. Okay, let me counter you. Did we have layers in 2005? Did you have layers in Original Wrath? Did you have layers in Original TBC? No. Had servers. Okay, one server, one world. Didn't get to teleport around. Smaller servers, yes. Okay, now we're gonna talk about this. Okay, now what if the world didn't have layers, but an appropriate amount of resources to adequately support the amount of players that exist in that server? Okay, because that's what it used to have, right? If you think about smaller servers being playable, what does that mean? It means there's an adequate amount of resources, an adequate amount of mobs, nodes, mining, herbalism, timers on respawn, number of mobs. Why can't they just... PvP would be bad? That's great. Love it. I just don't think... Layers, I think, as an example, layers can be okay, but it depends on implementation, in my opinion. I think what should happen is layers should not be as transient as they are. You should not be able to change a layer, maybe outside of a main city. And I think that they should exist, but not in the way that they're currently implemented. I think right now it's bad for the game the way that they're implemented. You should not be able to avoid conflict, whether it's through competition on questing mobs, competition on mining nodes, or competition in anything PvP, because on a whim. You shouldn't be able to on a whim. And that's what you can do. You can go to type /4 space layer enter and teleport to a different universe. You shouldn't be able to do that. Fundamentally, it's bad for the game. And so I think what the real answer is, it's not should layers exist, it's should layers exist in the current implementation, or should they exist in a different implementation, or should they not exist? There's 3 options, not 2. You can change how they work without getting rid of them. And that's my take on it, is layers shouldn't be as transient because they're abusable, and it creates a meta where you avoid conflict. And you shouldn't be able to avoid that. Anyways, that's my take on it. AoE looting, in my opinion, like, I don't really care. I guess I don't really care. I just don't see... I don't even see why this is even a question, I guess. I'm a Gorker. I don't have time to wait for quest mobs. Give me the layers. Mr. Gorker, you have all the time in the world. Go stand at the mob and tab out and do some work, it respawns in 5 minutes, brother. You're Gorkin. Doesn't matter. Mages are botting this question. I swear, yeah, I think this is a crazy question. The amount of people that said yes, see, it's an interesting question. I'm honestly surprised by this. Isn't it good to listen to the majority? No. Well, okay. I think that this whole survey shouldn't be used as a metric of like, oh, anything over 60% we're implementing into the game. I think it's just a source for what players generally might want or not want more than anything else. And you have to keep in mind that the people who took this survey are largely biased to their streamers' opinions. So of a million people that play Classic WoW, 35K voted. 80% of them have a favorite streamer and might resonate with their opinions. This is a completely, honestly, the whole poll, I think, is completely biased. But, you know, you're not going to see most responses in this. And so I don't even know how much relevance this will have for Blizzard. But it's still probably a good metric. It's probably close. It's probably not too skewed, except for a couple things. Wow. People want achievements. I think achievements will be fine if they're meaningful. I think participation achievements are harmful for the game. I do. I don't think achievements are bad if they're real achievements. If they're real achievements, I don't think it's bad. But like, you shouldn't get an achievement for dinging level 20. You shouldn't even get an achievement for killing Van Cleef. You shouldn't get an achievement for doing, like, I don't think those are achievements. I think that achievements should be a challenge. You shouldn't get it by playing the game normally in an unintended, like, you should have to go out of your way to get an achievement. You shouldn't just play the game and get an achievement unless you're playing weird, in my opinion. Like, for example, solo dead mines. That could be an achievement, right? But do dead mines is not an achievement in my head. You know what I mean? That's boring, in my opinion. It's boring. It's boring. That's my take. That's my take on it. Time to run, sure. Solo dead mines will be like solo dead mines while it being relevant, you know? I'm not sure why both can't be. I'm not sure why both can't be. Keep in mind, people who play 3 hours a week doing dead mines does feel like an achievement. I see what you're saying, but like, let's actually think about this. Let's think about this. Do you think a 3 hour a day player would like to have a reason to play the game at a low level in an interesting manner, or to just play the game as they would and see some random pop-up that they're not really looking for pop up on their screen? I think a 3 hour a week player, in my opinion, would appreciate having lower level achievement stuff to do that they feel like is meaningful, in the sense that like they can work towards that. Like it's something to go to. I just don't think, I don't know. Like, give the people like, is it special for someone who works 3 hours, who plays 3 hours a week? Is it actually special that they get that Dead Mines achievement? I don't know. Maybe. If it was real, they wouldn't like it. What do you mean? They can do the low level achievements. This whole idea of this game doesn't respect my time was such a massive L in the community. The game should not cater to a person because of their ability to play. If you're worried about your time, you need to find something else. It's okay that a game doesn't work for you. I agree. I 100% agree. Like, look, guys. I think all of you 3 hour a week Andes, okay? I think all of you 3 hour a week Andes, and if you're in the chat, you can say something, want what you can't have. And I think as soon as they give it to you, it's not going to be interesting at all. And I'm sorry, but as a 3 hour a week Andy, you have to accept that you can't finish the game. You only have 3 hours a week. So like, designing the game not with those people in mind, I don't think there's a way to make those people get everything without making the game nothing. First time a message. This This guy plays 3 hours a week. And he said, want to know life a video game and have nothing going on other than World of Warcraft? Yeah, you're right. I feel casual playing 3 hours a day, but 3 hours a week players want something to strive for as well. Yeah, exactly. Now, like, what I'm saying, right? What I'm saying is that, now, think of all these people. There were people that played classic World of Warcraft back in the day who had no time, and they still loved the game just leveling. And I think a lot of those people can still enjoy the game just doing whatever they do, random stuff in the game. And I don't think they need achievements to make themselves feel good about themselves. I don't think Blizzard needs to give people achievements to make them be like, oh my god, you're doing such a good job, man. Oh wow, you put in 2 hours this week. Congratulations, here's 10 achievement points. I don't think they need that shit. I don't think you need it in Classic. I think Classic works by itself, and I don't think you need points to make people feel good about themselves. I don't think you do. I just don't. I don't. That's my opinion, obviously. For me, as a collector, I collected all through Classic. I found that in Classic, I enjoyed collecting more because it felt like something I was going out of my way to do for the sake of doing it. I wasn't chasing achievement points necessarily. I was chasing completion on my character more than that, more than anything. And as soon as the achievement points came out, so for reference, in Classic, I got exalted with every reputation in Classic, which is hard. In Classic, that's hard. Dire Maul, DMF, Chandrilar, Bloodsail Buccaneers, AB, Warsong, AV, all of the whatever, everything. Okay? It's cringe. It's so much effort, and I went out of my way. No achievement points, nothing. How do you get exalted with Dire Maul? You turn in Librams. It's really expensive, but you can do it in Classic. And Bloodsail, you grind a Goblin in Badlands, and you get 5 rep per kill, and he respawns every 7 minutes, and you kill him 4,300 times to go from Honored to Exalted. And I did that. And I didn't do it for achievement points. I didn't do it for anything. I did it to complete my character. No shot you did that. I'll log on my character right now. This is a character I did this on in Classic WoW. Okay? How do you do Chandrilar? You turn in Librams. Libram of Focus. Over and over and over and over. Libram of Focus. Okay? It gives you 200 rep every time you turn it in. And you do it again and again and again, and it's unique. And you do it once, and you go to the mailbox, you Hearthstone, you Ghetto Hearth, you get summoned back, and you do it again. And it takes thousands of gold, but you do it. Okay? And guess what? I didn't do it for achievement points. In TBC, I did it again. I did it on all the reps. It wasn't that much because I did all the Classic ones. I just did the TBC ones. Okay? And then, when Wrath came out, what happened? Achievements. I didn't do a single rep in Wrath. Why? For me, it was achievements. I felt like it wasn't as like interesting for me when the game was telling me what goals I could have. I didn't like that as a collector, to be honest. It didn't feel like I was doing it for my character. It felt like I was doing it to meet an expectation for an achievement. And that's one thing that I don't like as a collector, someone who collected all through Classic and all through TBC. I felt like it ruined my motivation for doing things for the sake of doing them. And it tried to push me to do things. Okay? I'm logging in. I'm trying to log in. And so that's something that I don't like about achievements, because there's an achievement for everything. It didn't feel good. I don't know why it's doing this, bro. Well, it's you. Why do you think other people should treat the game the same way? Just let single dads be happy. I just don't understand. So what do you mean? This is my perspective. I just don't think it should be in the game because of my experience. That's all I'm saying. Do you think this is the desire of the norm, or perhaps uniquely tied to a few? I just think I don't like how achievements are. Achievements for everything. You get an achievement for getting any exalted reputation. Here's an achievement. You can do a dungeon. You get an achievement because you did a dungeon. Okay, go check off your boxes because you're a good collector. Like, it's just, I'm sure some people enjoy it. Look, guys, this is my hunter. I played in Classic. I stopped in Wrath. I haven't touched it. I haven't played it all in Cataclysm. I stopped in Wrath. I didn't even farm Wrath. Okay? Look at my reputation tab. I did this in Classic, okay? This was TBC reps, exalted, 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 everything. Lower City, yep, that's all the TBC. Classic, Argent Dawn, Bloodsail, Brood, Cenarian Circle, DMF, Hydraxian, Ravenholt, okay? Chandrilar, Thorian Brotherhood, Timbermaw, Zandalar. I haven't touched this because this is new. I don't even know what this is. Okay? Yes, everything is exalted. Why? It wasn't for an achievement, I could tell you that. It's because I wanted to complete my character. Okay? And that's all it is. It's just because I wanted to. And that's what Classic WoW is all about. You should do things that you want to do, not that the game pushes you to do. The game shouldn't push you to do anything, and that's why I don't think Classic WoW should have achievements, because achievements push you to do certain things arbitrarily decided by a developer that are achievement worthy. And I don't like that idea. I don't like that idea. You should just find your own things to chase in the game and have your own motivations, and they should be different from other people that play the game, but you should have those, and it shouldn't have to be worth points. And I don't like chasing achievements. Look, I have 250,000 honorable kills. I got rank 14. I did everything on this character, and I can tell you it wasn't for achievements. It's because I loved the character and I loved the game and I was super immersed in it and I just did everything. And that's all it is. And I think that's how it should be, because I think that offers the best experience. That's why I think there shouldn't be achievements. That's my take. I don't care. You guys might want achievements because you like chasing those things, but in Classic, I think that the game really does offer an amazing experience and you don't need them.